Yay, there you are. Okay, let's get this correct. Let's get this correct and right. Hi, everybody. Wow, the creative process in living color, everybody. Let me just give you a little partial view here. Okay, so this is my first time using this platform, and I'm really excited to be trying out this new platform because it's all about learning. This channel is truly all about learning and sharing ideas and exchanging information because I truly believe that access to high quality education, even in the form of communion and dialogue, will definitely lead to a better place for everybody. It's all about peace and prosperity. So, having said all of that, what we're going to try out with the StreamYard is the screen share so that I can pop out to an outside resource. So, for this episode of Ask Miss Cotton, I'm going to be giving my opinion on a recent New York Times article. So, this article was shared with me, and I believe this person said that they got it from the Roland Martin Daily News digital show. Shout out to Roland Martin. He's doing his thing and has really become a trailblazer in this space with providing Black owned content about Black people in that daily digital format show. I watch his show a lot. So I was like super interested in the article, and I felt like it was going to be something that I was interested in looking at and reading because of who he got it from. So always consider the source. That's lesson number one. All right, so we're going to go and check this article out. Let me just give you a little bit of background about this article. It's called Faces of Power, and it's all about basically the byline is 80% are white. So we're going to look at these faces and talk about what this means in our world, and then I'll give you my opinion on it. Ask Miss Cotton, what do you think? Because you know I have something to say. All right, so let me try to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Yes, I think that I'm doing it okay. All right. So this is the practice here. So this is the article, New York Times. Okay. And here it says these are 922 of the most powerful people in America. And then as you can see, the Black, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, multiracial, or otherwise POC, person of color, those are the faces identified in the yellow background squares. All right. So even as the United States becomes more diverse, we see that when it comes to power in those spaces, the people that occupy those spaces and really have power are white. Why is that? Why is that? Okay, so here's an interesting one. The first statistic is 25 people command the largest police forces. 14 are Black or Hispanic. So this is an interesting one because the majority here is a person of color. How interesting that to police a community, okay, the person that's going to enforce the laws that we don't create or write, for the most part, who you want to enforce them, okay, the glorified slave catcher, oh, those can be people of color. And this makes sense if we think about this connection with Hollywood and how police chiefs are always portrayed and which actors get that role. Isn't it always like Police Chief O'Hara, where they'll have, for sure, they'll have like a Black police chief. Okay, so no surprise there. All right, here's the next power position. 29 prosecutors charge people with crimes in those jurisdictions. 12 are Asian, Black, or Hispanic. And again, you can see that it is sort of a lot of yellow boxes that we're looking at. And I think that here we have lawyer, right? So here's that sort of elite society of legal. So kind of a step up, in my opinion, a step up above a police officer would then be this agent of law, this lawyer. But you can see again, still to prosecute the laws that we're not by and large creating and that disproportionately affect us. You can see we have our own people do that. And it looks like they're pretty happy to occupy that space. Oh, here's, you saw who I'm circling on. Yes. Okay. That's the woman that represents my district. She looks mad too. Uh-oh, Baltimore. Okay, Democratic City, full of crime and black faces in power. That's a different Ask Miss Cotton. Okay, 24 people lead the Trump administration. 3 are Asian, black, or Hispanic. And for our conversation, look at this. 1 is black. We know who that is, Ben Carson. And this is no surprise here, right? Who does Trump surround himself with? His friends and partners in crime. Okay. 9 justices sit on the U.S. Supreme Court. This is hugely important. What is the left hand doing while the right hand is doing all of these magic tricks? Like that is so important that these seats are being filled by these super conservative judges. And here we have Clarence, who is definitely not a spring chicken, and Sotomayor. Again, those seats are going to become vacant as well. Hopefully not soon. I don't want to wish them to the pastor. I don't want to wish them to the cornfield any sooner than they're ready to go. But the point is, those seats will become vacant, and there has just been really this conscious push to get the most conservative people in the highest court of the land. I mean, this is it. These are the people that are overturning cases and that are interpreting the Constitution. Constitution Day just passed. I didn't celebrate it because my people had a very specific role, if you will, when that Constitution was written. And so I really kind of let the day go by. I used to make a big deal out of it when I was in the classroom teaching in the classroom because I'm a lifelong educator. So I'm going to teach every time I open my mouth. It's a learning moment. And you could ask everybody around me because they roll their eyes like, oh my goodness, here she goes again. But I have to be me. I can only be me. Anyway, I used to make a big deal out of Constitution Day, but I've just slowly evolved to this place where I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll celebrate for 3/5 of the day. Catch that. 8 men are military chiefs, no women. One of them is black. Okay, no surprise there. No surprise there. Of the people at the top of the 25 highest valued companies, 6 are Asian or black. Okay. So when we talk about titans of industry, when we talk about generational wealth, when we talk about the equity, the gap between equity, between the have and the have nots, and how people of color are mostly filling that title of have nots, here it is. Here it is illustrated, right? When you get to the top, there's not a lot of color. And then look at this, right? Really one black. So right? I love all people. I definitely love people of color. But come on, where's the Latino representation? Where's the black people at? Okay, of the people who head universities ranked in the top 25, 1 is Hispanic. So they just didn't even bother to include anybody black. Like, nope, y'all not getting in. It ain't happening. You're not the provost, you're not the president, you're not the head dean, nothing. So wow, that's very shocking. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. Mm. 15 people direct major news organizations. 3 are black or Hispanic. This is important. By as much, I think that people talk about what is important to them. I think that people definitely curate conversations based on who they commune with, who is important to them. And so even though the way that our world is ingested, because media definitely affects the way that our world is ingested, what we look at in our environmental print, the billboard that we see, the music that we're listening to on the radio, the TV shows, the programming that we are, basically forced to pay attention to. Who is in control of that? Not any black people, I'll tell you that. Yay, look at this, the New York Times. I love the New York Times. Let me just say that for me, the New York Times and USA Today are my primary news sources when we talk about like traditional newspaper, get a subscription and sit and read a newspaper. And those recommendations came to me. Shout out to one of my college professors. Oh my goodness, I cannot remember his name, but I loved his class. He taught my marketing class, and he was like the president of like the basketball at my school. I did go to a school that had a D1 team, but they were, you know, that's all I'll say about that. Okay, the 5 people who have the most influence over book publishing are all white. Again, in that education space, we don't value your intellect. And here again, in this publishing space, right, like how important is that written world, because we're still living under that doctrine of legality. People are trying to enforce something that was codified and written down thousands of years ago, and for some reason we just haven't pushed back, and we're still like bound by that. So super important. The publishing world is super important, and I'm not surprised that there aren't any Black people there. Shout out to Calico Publishing, Printing and Media Company that has yet to be formed. But hey, maybe I'll reach it in this lifetime or the next. The people who edit the 10 most read magazines are all white, including probably my favorite magazine, Town and Country. Oh my goodness. People, AARP, the magazine. Is that one of the most read magazine? My grandmother gets that magazine and they do have interesting articles, so I'm not even mad at that. 14 people influence most of the music that is produced and played. 2 are Black and Hispanic. Here's that point again about media and how important that programming is and the messages that you're subconsciously consuming. And who is curating that message? Not the Black people. Sony ATV, John Platt. We got our eye on you. What are you doing? Because you're apparently in an elite club. So what are you doing? And what contracts are going to these artists? Y'all got Kanye out here peeing on his Grammy and tweeting all his business. 25 people run the top TV networks and Hollywood studios. 3 are Black or Hispanic. No surprise there. We've been fighting for representation. Every other year, we have to create the hashtag Grammy So White. And then the next year, they give us this conciliatory prize and nominate people. Here we go. Wanya. Okay, Wanya. Perlina. Okay, nice name. And Jessica Rodriguez with Univision. Hi, Jessica. All right. And interestingly enough, here we don't see any Black men in that space, right? So when we think about how Black men are portrayed in Hollywood, is there really any surprise that sometimes we don't see Black men at all represented? We definitely don't see strong Black men represented. And if we do see a Black man represented, he's most likely going to be from the LGBT community. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love my rainbow gang for sure, but that is very interesting. No Black men, look at how they are represented. Of the people in charge of the 25 highest valued fashion companies, 3 are Asian or Hispanic, no Black at all. And this one is crazy. This is a crazy category because you already know who the trendsetters are. That's crazy. So you already know, but I guess we're not at the top of the company. But definitely if you look at the pulse of the street and just go around and in any city, you go to a London, you go to a France, you go to New York, you go to Los Angeles and see who's walking around, honey, and serving fashions, honey, who is serving the fashions. That's crazy, but we're not at the seat. We're not at the table there. 99 people own professional baseball, basketball, and football teams. 6 are Asian, Black, or Hispanic. No representation. Look at that all the way here at the bottom. Michael Jordan. So let's talk about it. You said baseball, basketball, and football teams, right? We can't be the owners or the managers, but we're most definitely the talent. Who is on the field? Look at the color on the field. Read the room. Read the room. Why is power so concentrated to one side? Is it by design? What's the implication? What do I think about that? I think it's shitty. I think it needs to be changed. I think in all these situations, although the face of power is apparently not a person of color, a lot of these positions of power have to do with consumerism. So maybe we do have the power, we're just not using it right. All right, scrolling on down. 100 people write laws in the Senate. 9 are Asian, Black, or Hispanic. You know her, huh? Yes, you do. Do you know him? Uh-huh. Cory Booker. And do you know her? All right. Get into it. 50 people are state governors. 3 are Asian, Hispanic, or Native American. Again, not Black. So at the gubernatorial level, no Black faces. No Black men. Oh my goodness. 431 people currently write laws in the House. 112 are Asian, Black, Hispanic, or Native American, or otherwise identify as a person of color. That means there's a little bit of, wow, look at this, scrolling through all of this. Oh my goodness. Here we go. I can't find it. Oh, there we are. Here she is. Hey, sister girl, with her rap set. Who are we? Terry Sewell from Alabama. Yes, here's my girl. Come on, Auntie Maxine. Hi, Boo. Joanna Hayes. I hear good stuff about her. This is another strong one in Florida. Come on, honey. Yes, with the hat pushing through. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Okay. But you see, they're in the right. There's a difference between House of Representatives and difference between the senators and the others. All right, so that's the article. I just thought this was super super interesting, and I basically shared with you what my thoughts are. That is what I think. I think that interestingly enough. Let's take that off for a second. I think, interestingly enough, a lot of those power positions, again, are tied to consumers. So what we consume, music, entertainment in the form of football, movies, movie studios, and magazine publishers. Would we be able to change the playing field if we controlled what we bought? If we just decided simply to only support a network or a publishing company or a sports team if they put people of color in those leadership roles? How would this article be different, and how many more yellow boxes will we have? I don't know. I don't know. All right, so thank you, Jason, for sending me this article, and thank you all for watching this installment of Ask Miss Cotton, and hopefully everything went well. Here we go, the StreamYard debut. I liked being able to share my screen, so I hope it went well. All right, y'all, peace.